Okay guys, so I'm going to show you Classroom Dojo, which is a classroom management software. Um, and so we're going to begin first by just logging in, and you'll notice up here the website is classdojo.com. And it's aimed for younger kids, but I'm going to show you ways that we can probably incorporate it for secondary students. So we're going to log in. And watch the wheel spin. Okay, so this is the home page for the Classroom Dojo. You'll notice I have two different classes here. I have second period 8th grade and a demo class. We're going to use the second period 8th grade. And we're going to start. And you'll notice these are the kids in my class. They're just Denver Bronco players. So you don't have to worry about any privacy issues here. And you'll notice that each student is given kind of a cute or really horrifying avatar, depending on your preferences. Like this one, Matt Prater, it looks like he was stabbed in the forehead by something. But regardless, they're kind of cute, they're kind of engaging. You know, the kids are, I don't know. You know, it might be, the cutoff might be first semester, 7th grade with stuff like this. But again, this isn't something you're probably going to use through the whole year. It's just something to kind of show kids what you're looking for. So we'll take attendance. So here you have these buttons where you can mark all present or mark all absent. And here you can also change, so absent, on time, and then I think the yellow must be tardy. So we'll put Wes Welker as absent, and everyone else is here. Von Miller was tardy, and Peyton Manning was tardy. So again, this is a pretty easy thing to do. Like on a smartboard too, which we talked about, I think it was Susie. It'd be really fun if you have a smartboard, you can just put this on the thing, and as the kids walk in, they can just tap their name. So, you know, Dominique Rogers Camardi, if he's late, he could just tap his name. And, you know, you have to keep an eye out for stuff like that, if they change it. But, again, I think that'd be something that'd be fun to use. So this is attendance. And, again, one of the things I really like about this website is it's kid-friendly. It's really easy to use. It doesn't take an expert, to use anything like this. And and again, it's colorful and it's kind of engaging. So we're going to save our attendance. We can set a timer here, which is I really like to do because as a language arts teacher, I'll probably have a lot of writing prompts. And again, you can use this for a lot of different things. So we're going to do a countdown, and we're going to set 5 minutes. So you can set a 5-minute timer for, like a writing prompt or a quiz or anything like that. Silent reading, stuff like that. So again, here's kind of the usual stuff. We'll hide the timer. And then what I wanted to show you next is the incentives. So here, I'm going to go back real quick. So you can select all students or just go back. So I'm going to cancel. And so here you can say award multiple students. And so when you're sitting at your desk or wherever, you can just kind of keep an eye out for kids. And, so we'll say Peyton Manning, we'll give him an award. So a positive award. And again, you'll notice that this stuff is pretty childish, But I don't really think that's a bad thing. I think building a safe classroom is kind of letting kids feel safe, and one of the ways you can make kids feel safe is kind of, treating them like kids, So I'm giving him on task thing, and so he gets +1 for on task. And the incentives can be added up over weeks or months, and I'll show you later how to do that. And you can also apply negative incentives, so negative off task. And again, one of the fun things, or not so fun, it depends on your outlook, is that if you have this display on a smartboard, everyone in the class is going to see when you say on task. So again, that's a little bit of incentive, that's another incentive for kids to be on task. And if you have a kid who's off task, everyone's going to see that he's being disrespectful. But of course, one of the dangers is that you could also create a police state, where kids are kind of like, oh, Eric's off task, you got to mark him down. So you'd have to be really careful about using something like this. And I would not use the full display. I would do this privately. I would introduce it to the kids like on the first day and say, hey, this is the classroom, this is the software I'm using, and this is how I'm going to be keeping track of you while you're in my class. So again, it's pretty easy to do. We'll give Matt Prater, since he got stabbed, it looked like. I don't know what the heck that thing is. Well, I mean, what is that? But we'll give him persistence, because he's going to need a lot of persistence if he goes through life with... It looks like a snake coming out of his head. So we'll keep going. So I'm going to end the class, and you'll notice that it gives you a data feed thing right here. So you had 60% positive and 40% negative. You can change the range. So this month, April, I have 70% positive, 30% negative, and I don't hold class that often. Ha ha ha. I was actually, the last time I did this was a couple weeks ago when I was just figuring out the website. But again, it's really handy stuff. You can print it with the handy print button right here. And this can give you, data that you need. And again, you'd have to be really careful about how much data you're using to record kid behavior, because I mean, if you're in a really special situation where you have a lot of perhaps kids that are off task constantly or really need a lot of incentives to work, this could be effective. But again, other than maybe perhaps sending a parent a report every once in a while, I don't see the day-to-day functions of the data here, unless it's for me personally. I don't know. I think there's some good and positive. There's some positive things, and there's also some negative things here. So we're going to go to the Parent Center. So here are the parents. And I did not create these parents. I think the program did. But you can just add a parental email address. I'll just add my own. And it sent an invite. And then once you have the invite, what happens is that the parents can subscribe to all the data reports that you submit. And you can actually have the program automatically, and I'll show you this in a minute, automatically send reports to parents on Fridays. Well, it's right there. So Hugh Jackman will receive a report that says Peyton Manning is doing very well in my class. All right, so now we're going to go down to this Ideas tab here. And these are just some handy things, which is, I forgot, is a sign-up sheet. So we're not going to worry about that now. And then there's also a healthy help thing. And again, that's just kind of stuff that's pretty straightforward. So let's tie directly back into my objectives here. My objectives is, and I'll read them, students can write a reflection on their behavior in class using Classroom Dojo data. In what areas do they excel? In what areas do they need to improve? Now this is something I would have a little bit of problem using in an actual classroom, but for here, I think it'll be okay. So let's go back to my second period class. Actually, we're going to go back here. Go to reports. So let's say Eric Decker. We can go directly to Eric Decker's profile here. And -1 for disrespect in second period. So what I could do is, objectives, is I could print out this report and be like, hey, Eric, I want you to write a reflection on your behavior in class. And again, this is something I would not be totally on board with using because it seems to be a little bit of an overreach. I have no problem with disciplining kids, but I would worry that it might get a little out of hand using stuff like this. But for my objectives, I'd have kids like saying, if I was disrespectful, what do I need to do to improve that? How am I planning to improve that? What steps do I need to improve that? And then maybe just because I'll be a language arts teacher, is like, I don't know, tie it to some other text or tie it to some situation we've covered in class, and how maybe a fictional character would respond. But again, that's a kind of a reach. As a whole, I like the website. I think it'd be fantastic for elementary ed or elementary teachers in general, because it seems to be aimed for that age group. And again, I would probably use this for maybe for the first 2 weeks of class, like a public display where kids see their names and they see everyone, they see what I'm looking for in class, and I think after that I'd kind of phase it out. I'd still use the software for like attendance and whatnot, but it wouldn't be public. So as a whole, this is Classroom Dojo. It's pretty easy to use. Again, it's free, so it's simple to sign up for. You can go to Student Video tab here. I'm not sure what video is going to show. And it's just an advertisement, so we won't worry about that for now. But if you're interested in the program, you can watch that on your own. So this is my seminar on Classroom Dojo. Thanks for watching.